All right, everybody. All right, everybody, come on in, come on in. First, let me humbly apologize. We are late. I am late. It's my fault. I had a lot going on and was pulling up on two wheels, but we're going to get right into it. Come on in, everybody. Today, we're going to do something special. Lucy and I, you all know, are the proud founders of the Finishing School for the Modern Woman, which is an online finishing school we created coming up on 3 years ago now, where we teach ladies of all ages how to be the best version of themselves, leading with femininity, elegance, and etiquette. After their online courses, we had a big celebration here in Atlanta, and inquiring minds wanted to know about the yacht evening and the afternoon tea. So I was scouring some pictures, some selective pictures for you all, so we can give you the details behind the scenes. But Lucy, please introduce yourself and let us know why this weekend is so important to what we do.
Hi, Maggie. Hi, everyone. Yes, this weekend that we're going to be presenting is just the accumulation of so many days of getting to know wonderful women and women that do want to stand out and you know, um, show their excellence as women. And this event, it starts becoming real right after the last event. So Maggie puts together, so many just different items that will allow us to practice what we learn in the finishing school weekend, and also in um, the the sessions for those women that want to learn about what it is to be married. The beautiful thing about some of these events is that the husbands were invited, and we see how proud those husbands are of their wives about taking the initiative to learn a little more about some things that we are not taught when we're children. And it's just beautiful to see all these amazing young women, their smiles, their calm demeanor. It's just so good to come into a room where everyone is enjoying at a very calm level. There's not that, incredible high energy that sometimes is just too much when you want to be elegant. Again, elegance is slow moving, and it's just about observing your surroundings and just making sure that you're enjoying every second of those events.
Absolutely. So, without further ado, I'm going to share my screen with you all. But Lucy brings up a really good point. I had to learn this in my training, and I still work on this. Elegance is not rushed, and so we'll give you all some high level tips if you are interested. Lucy and I also have some classes that we teach. We have a new one, or one that we're going to teach again, called Relationship Basics. So for those ladies who are interested in being a good woman to a good man, if your mother didn't teach you how to be that, Relationship Basics is coming up next month in July, starting July 19th. And you can go to teachablemomentswithmaggie.com. If you're interested, it's 2 sessions, and we'll teach it live. But it is really important to me. I mean, I am a festive person by nature. I'll turn anything into a celebration. That's easy. But Lucy is right. We have a lot of intention with what we do. It is a lot. And again, thank you so much to our generous sponsors. You know who you are, that make this happen for us. We could not, and we would not do it without the men who support us. But it was important for me to put the ladies in an environment in the real world, like Lucy said, where they can put what they've learned into practice. Because anybody can take a class online, get a digital certificate. There's nothing wrong with that. We've all taken online courses. But when you get to see in real time how I am with my men, how the wives are with their husbands, when you are in an environment, like Lucy said, where it's not rushed, it's not masculine, it's not loud, you see how femininity can be an incredible superpower. And last thing I'll say is this: we tell the ladies all the time, you have to have some routines in place. It doesn't have to be extravagant, but you do have to find pockets of time where you slow down and you remember that you are a lady, not a female. You are a lady if that's what you choose to be. And you have to put things in place to allow yourself to be to let your femininity shine, because if left unchecked, you will become louder than you want to be, harsher than you want to be, harder than you want to be, and then wondering why you're not attracting the kind of men that want a feminine woman. All right, so let's go in. Let me see here if I can share my screen. I was taking the time to go through some pictures. So let me just say this. We had 4 events over the weekend. Today we're going to talk about 2 of them. We're going to combine the afternoon tea, and we're going to combine the yacht club, the yacht evening. We already did, I believe, Maggiano's, which is our formal graduation dinner. 4 events in 3 days, too much, never going to happen again. Believe me, I've been told. However, I wanted to put together a casual event for the ladies to be relaxed and enjoy something that was, a bit more fun. Then we have the graduation dinner, which is a formal event, which allows them to put some of their skills into practice and dress formally and really practice being in those spaces before you get that invitation, before you get, invited to a gala, a wedding, or something like that. And then the afternoon tea, which is always a special one for me, ladies only, to have an event where we can do something that in my opinion is uniquely feminine. And I just love looking at how the ladies show up in their Sunday best and really represent elegance and modesty, especially in today's time. All right, so let's go in. Let me share with you all. Let's see here. And of course, we always love to have you all's comments. So here in Georgia, we have a lot, but one of the things that we don't have is water. We're not coastal. I know Lucy's out in California, so for those of you all that live in the water areas, I'm jealous. But we do have a lake, and so this was the ladies as we were getting ready to board the yacht. So Mr. President, our executive sponsor, chartered a yacht exclusively for the ladies. And I know not everybody's a fan of the water, so I want to thank Lucy and those of you all that were like, but we have a huge lake here in North Georgia, and we had it, I believe, for 4 hours, brought in some food catered, had some music going. And this was just an opportunity to show the ladies that, yes, you can be in a relaxed environment, but casual does not mean sloppy. Casual does not mean straight out of the dorm room. Casual does not mean asking inappropriate questions. It's a way to say, yes, you can still be casual and have fun, but be an elevated version of yourself. So I'm going to go through some of the pictures. And Lucy, why don't you talk a little bit about your thoughts on the yacht night? Ooh, the food.
I want to say thank you to Caitlin, the photographer. She did amazing getting us all together, getting 20, 25 people together for group pictures is the hardest thing. But she has this gentleness about saying and putting us together that is something that is those services. If we had a Caitlin here in California, we would probably hire her for my parents' anniversary party. It's going to be their 60th anniversary in July. And we would love to have a photographer like her, an amazing woman. She did the photographs for, I think it was the Friday night for the happy hour, and then the yacht, and then Sunday morning for the brunch. So again, I have to give my thank you to you, Maggie, for hiring her, and to her for, that's a skill that not too many people have. And she's really stealth, how she's taking pictures. You don't know she's around. And then when you see those pictures that capture the essence of who the people are, that is just a gift that she has. And, I love going there and enjoying seeing what we went through her lens.
Absolutely. It's a great way to remember the evening. And Caitlin has been my family photographer. She did my maternity photo shoot. And you all know the boys are almost up and out. So we've been family friends for a long time. And she has an amazing eye. So you all will see here. I see we've got some students in the chat. Shout out to Linda. Shout out to Kaylee. So we took a fun group picture. I also had an assistant for the evening. We got some wonderful Publix platters. Now we had just left Eclipse de Luna with unlimited beer, sangria, and lots of tapas. But we had a fruit platter. This was amazing. Lucy picked out everything. I have to say, thank Lucy, because you all know me. I can be indecisive when it comes to menus, and I think Lucy did an amazing job. I think Kaylee loved these skewers. This is like cherry tomato, spinach, prosciutto. I think some mozzarella drizzled with balsamic. Incredible. We had some bread baskets. So this was, I think, sourdough and maybe a rye bread with pimento and like a spinach dip dug into the bowl as a dip so you could eat the whole thing. Publix is here in the South, known for its chicken. So I ordered fried chicken. I think this is buffalo. This might have been a honey glaze with different varieties. So much good food, and just picked up some items from the Dollar Tree to make sure that we had supplies. But again, you can make elegance doesn't mean that you have to spend a lot of money. And I think we had an amazing event. We'll definitely use Publix again, but it's important to me that the ladies get practice hosting and being a guest. That is one of the modules that we talk about in the finishing school, because that is one of the feminine superpowers that we have, bringing people into a new space, making them feel warm and welcome. And it can be simple as putting some snacks out and just making sure everybody has a good time. What would you add about the food, Lucy?
The food was amazing. And I also have to thank your mister for supporting you on all of these events. He was the one who brought in the cooler with the ice, with, he was making sure that things were getting done while Maggie was making sure that, I think that met the captain of the boat, by all of that coordinating factor in the background. So again, it's that support of your man, the man that loves you, that's going to be there for the good and the bad and the happy and the sad. You could see him just enjoying being there, being, the man of the houseboat, putting the drinks together and the ice and making sure that things were getting done the right way.
Lucy brings up a good point, and yes, he's incredible. And it is very important for the ladies to see me with Mr. President, because I'm the same Maggie, but I'm very different. And unfortunately, a lot of ladies now have not been raised to see, husband and wife, mom and dad together. And so a lot of our students are trying to figure it out on their own. But ladies, here's a pro tip. Your men love seeing you happy. Your men love doing whatever they can to make to put a smile on your face. And so the appreciation that we have, it's well earned and it's hard earned. And like Lucy said, he didn't have to do any of this. He could have just wrote a check and said, go have fun. But like Lucy said, he was making sure everything was taken care of, because, I'll give you all a little insight. He not only likes to see me happy, he loves for all of the ladies to be happy. And that's how masculine men are. So again, the reason we do what we do is because the men are so deserving. So again, he brought lots of beverages, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic. I ordered some ponchos for the ladies, so we took a group picture. We had a beautiful sunset picture on the houseboat. This one is absolutely one of my favorites. So I got some embroidered pictures for the ladies who were all doing a toast as the sun is going down. We didn't use it, but there's a fire pit there. This was a 2-level houseboat. I think it was like 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. There was a dance floor, of course, a kitchen. It was incredible. And we had the whole place to ourselves. And it was just a way to show that we can have good, wholesome, clean, modest fun. Ladies, when you get around, other women, do you feel proud about what you've done when you're with those women? Do you go back home to your man or your husband and you're like, oh, let me tell you about this? Or are you kind of like, ugh, I hope nobody brings that up again? It is important to put ourselves in positions where we are proud of how we conduct ourselves afterwards. And that's why Lucy and I wanted to share this with you. What else would you add, Lucy?
And believe it or not, we're kind of giving them the grades to make sure that they're using what they learned. And then if there were some items that were not as appropriate, I think that the right correction was given at the right time. So again, this is not only just to have fun, but it's also like their final exam just to see, if we say it's a casual event, what are you wearing for the casual event? What does it mean to be casual for you? So again, it's one of those things that, yes, we are having fun, but at the same time, it's kind of like their final exam for them.
Yeah, Lucy brings up a really great point. And because this is a lot of work and a lot of investment, and because I want to be a good steward and responsible, our events are going to move to invite only, because it is important that not only is appreciated, but Lucy is right. This is our little bubble where we can correct the ladies. We praise in public and we correct in private. So if we saw anything that was inappropriate, if there was any, anything worn or any behavior or any questions or any comments or anything that was not becoming, we would lovingly give them that correction, either privately, or if it could help everyone, publicly, to say, hey, we're going to tell you this. When you get into mixed company, people are making decisions about you all the time. You may say something or you may do something even as innocent, but you have to really read the room and understand those social graces. And so Lucy's right. It's really important that the ladies get to practice. I love this picture of Lucy and I toasting on the back of the boat. But what do you all notice about these pictures that I'm going through? I want you to look at these pictures and write it in the chat. Or Lucy, you can say, what do you notice about the ladies here? Does anybody notice anything?
I'll go first.
Go first,
Uh,
Lucy.
the smiles and the way that we're all looking at each other when we're saying things, when we're just talking to each
Mm-hmm.
other. Whereas, unfortunately, modern life right now has taught these kids to be on the phones. There's no technology involved.
Mm-hmm.
There's the only technology is Caitlin taking the pics. Look at us. We don't have phones in our hands. And that wasn't because we requested it. It's because we made the intention to just enjoy the time right
Yes,
there, the
yes.
moment.
Lucy is absolutely right. And you all can see there was one picture that was staged, if you will, or posed for the group picture that I wanted, this one. But one of the things that I love is, ladies, look how beautiful we are when we smile. Same outfit, same clothes. Our faces just light up. And I get chills and I don't want to get emotional, but when I go out and I just see what the modern world is doing to women, you think you want that big title. You think you want all that responsibility. You think you want to compete with men and be loud and brash and vulgar. I promise you, you don't. And when you get to our age, and believe me, the men that you want, this is one of the things that Mr. President loves. Our sponsors love this when they see, the women of all ages being gracious, being pleasant, just being joyful. This, I would do it 100 times in a row. I just love it. So, it's absolutely free, ladies. When you're out and about, smile, make eye contact, greet people. You don't have to be dressed to the nines, but your face just lights up. And believe me, Mr. President told me, he was like, yeah, this person in the group wasn't blessed with beauty, but when she smiles, she's 100 times more attractive. So the men are watching, ladies. So again, your choice. Do what you want to do. All right. So that was the yacht. We had our food. We are going upstairs, downstairs. Oh, key lime pie. Shout out to Publix and the desserts. I'm serving. Everybody's having a good time. Of course, yes, we met the captain and he said you could steer. So I had to take some pictures. I took over for a minute. You all know, just allow Maggie. I'm your favorite extrovert. So we're talking, we're laughing, we're having a good time. It was just wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. Shout out to Lake Lanier Luxury Houseboats and Rentals. They were incredible. Our captain and the staff, they took really good care of us. And I would do it all over again. So thank you. Thank you. We'll move on to the tea. Anything else that you want to add, Lucy, about the yacht and the casual night and just the experience that we had on the water?
And the discussions, how in a party you have different groups of people that sit down and start talking about things. The discussions were deep, but they were respectful. It had substance. It wasn't anything just superficial. We did talk about what goals people had. I think the Mr. President came downstairs when we were talking. Some of the ladies were talking, and he started, just telling us about life and, things that he sees in life, and that is so important for us ladies to allow our men to guide us a little bit, to tell us what the goals are, and to appreciate that and be silent while he's talking. I mean, I was mesmerized when he was talking. I was just listening. Okay, he's talking, and that's amazing, because that's what we do. That's the best way we learn from our men. And unfortunately, modern life has taught us that we have to be interjecting ourselves every time a man talks, and that's the last thing you want to do. You want to receive. We are the recipients. Receive that knowledge, receive that wisdom, receive that love that those men are giving to us, because they wouldn't talk to us unless men do not just talk. They talk to us because they care about us. So again, that was just a beautiful time. I think, Maggie, you were doing something and he came in and he started. Yeah, you were probably with the captain, and we were talking, and he just came in and, took over the conversation, and it was amazing what he had to say.
Thank you, Lucy. And I know, I open myself up and I open up, my relationship to the select ladies that we teach because it is rare air. These are not the type of men that most women have access to. And I appreciate that the women, are respectful. And like Lucy said, listening is a huge and simple way to show respect and to be able to, maybe pick his brain a little bit. But yes, it's so important, ladies. Here's another free one. Like Lucy said, men don't waste their words. So if you have access to a man that you admire and respect and he begins to speak, zip it. Wait, listen, and ask if you would like your opinion. But that is a very common thing that women, because all we have is our words, and we're just always, cutting men off. And then finally, they're just like, all right, you got it. Let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. Kaylee says the food was fantastic. It was. Irving is liking the pictures. Thank you for the thumbs up. Jurgen, yes, Caitlin is incredible. And some of these I remember taking, but to Lucy's point, she takes candid so well and just captures the essence of the moment. You don't even remember. And that's what made me smile when I looked at the group picture and then I looked at the candids, and it wasn't that forced smile. Everybody was still smiling. It just gives me chills. Yes, you all love it. You love the food. Oh, I'm so glad that you all love it. Yes, your man likes seeing you happy. Your man, all right? So listen to what he says. I'm glad this is making sense. Shatavia sees it. Yes, all the ladies are smiling. Irving says, yes, this is a common stress, how their lady dresses in public. And Lucy and I like to lead by example. You see us in casual clothes. You'll see us in Sunday best. You saw us at Maggiano's informal. There's definitely ways to be feminine, but still be respectful. Irving says, yes, no resting mad face in the pictures. Absolutely. Discipled One is liking it. And Katie says, you didn't notice the phone either. We talk about this, ladies. When you are in person, whether it's a date, an interview, a car ride, whatever, show respect by being present in the moment. If you need to take a call, step away and do that. But this all the time when you're amongst people, it is not, it's not elegant. All right. Yes, you all love seeing no phones in sight. Okay. Jurgen says nowadays smiling women are so rare that these photos look like they're from a movie. Thank you for the compliment, but that makes me sad. Yeah, ladies, and this is what we teach. You can stand out for the right reasons. And what we're sharing with you doesn't have to be a yacht. It could be in the grocery store anyway. Irving says, Maggie and Lucy saving one lady at a time. Listening to a man is so important. All right. So thank you all. So that was a few select pictures from our yacht. We're going to move over. This was Friday night. When everybody arrived, we had happy hour, and then we moved to North Georgia for the yacht party. We already talked about Saturday graduation night. They got their trophies. And then Sunday, I like to send the ladies off with afternoon tea at Neiman Marcus. So let me go ahead and share the pictures there. All right, let's see. All right. So Neiman Marcus has a restaurant. In the restaurant, there's a private dining room. So I always rent out the room, and they have it decorated just for us for afternoon tea. So there's Lucy and Nana and Mr. Steven and my assistant, Lena. So all the ladies are coming in. The dress code for Friday night's happy hour is casual. And like Lucy and I have said, ladies, here's another tip for you. You can be casual and still be put together. You can have travel clothes on and still be put together. You can have comfortable clothes on and be put together. You can be in hot weather and be put together. Don't let casual or, anything relaxed make you just kind of like whatever. Even at home, you can lounge in an elegant way. So that was Friday night. Sunday, we did Sunday's Best. Yeah, it was Sunday, right? Sunday's Best. So what you would wear for like an Easter service at church. Your bright dresses, something floral and fun. Tea length is knee length or lower. So they brought around the afternoon tea. We all took our sachets, and I did a tea lesson for the ladies to kind of show them a little bit of the history of afternoon tea, and we had a lot of fun. What would you add, Lucy?
Yes, that Sunday tea was just amazing. Again, it's one of those things that coming from a third world country, I had never experienced. And the first time that I experienced it was with Maggie. And it was just such a new, beautiful thing to learn how you can have a quiet, an elegant get together with your friends, and at the same time learning, because what Maggie did, the first time, the second time, and she will continue to do, is give us tips or remind us about what we learned in the finishing school about, when you hold your cup, whether it's with a plate underneath, what does it mean, when can you do it, how to move your spoon when you're putting sugar or anything in your tea. You're not going to be clinking it all the time. You just have to be gentle and slowly, the movement, how to choose each tier of those sandwiches and sconces. What do you eat first? What you eat second? How do you pass the food around? So again, it's one of those events for us to practice what we learned in the finishing school and enjoy our time together learning. And at the same time, we are also grading the behavior at those tables.
Absolutely. So I'll give you all a little micro history lesson. And the reason why I do this, most importantly, it's not about the fork, the spoon, the knife. It's not even about the food. This is what we teach the ladies when we talk about dining. When you dine with others, it's really about the connection. It's really about the conversation. It's really about the moments that you share together, whether it's a date or a family gathering or a business meeting or, afternoon tea. And like Lucy said, we're all so much like this. I think conversation is becoming a lost art, being able to look someone in the eye and talk about whatever it is. And so I want our ladies to have those soft skills, because you never know when you'll put them into practice. And even this coming week, I'll be going to London for Royal Ascot, but it doesn't have to be something, royal with a king or a queen. It's just those little things that we do and don't do that set us apart. So yes, the history for afternoon tea came from London a long time ago. But again, this is an environment for ladies only, our students only, where we can make it our own, and we can slow down, and we can dine elegantly. We can move with grace instead of moving like a bull through a china shop. Because a lot of times, ladies, you can be dressed to the nines, but you sit somebody down at a table and they pack their purse with all this stuff, and then people make those decisions about you, and you're like, yeah, that person won't be coming back. So I love to be able to teach the ladies some of the things that we can look for that make us stand out for the right reasons. So like Lucy said, so everybody's picking their tea. You had your individual tea setting here, and they had a table set up at the front. So I was just going over some of the do's and don'ts. There's a lot of Maybe misconceptions. And again, it's not about necessarily being perfect, but it is about having the awareness and self awareness. And again, I love seeing the ladies all dressed up, listening, not in their phones, not distracted. We talked about how to elegantly get in and out of a chair, how to stir quietly. Basically, if we were to boil it down, you don't want to do things that draw a lot of attention to yourself. Elegance is about really considering other people and not just saying, well, I'm me and everybody's got to pay attention to me. So they brought in the tea towers. We had our tea sandwiches, our scones, and our desserts. And there is an order to eat these. There is a way. There are certain rules when you're dining with others. You don't fill up your plate with everything. You allow others to get one of everything first before you go on for more. You try to dine with the pace of the group, so you're not the first one or the last one. Little things like this, like Lucy said, a lot of times we don't know. And here's the thing, I didn't know. And I'm very proud to say that all of this is a skill, which means it can be learned. And so we offer the teaching so that when you are in mixed company, you're not a fish out of water. But I'm an immigrant too. None of us were born with a silver spoon. And here's the thing, even the royals have to be taught. So and it's not about trying to imitate the royals, but we know how to reach out and learn the things that we want to learn. So if this is important to you to be a little bit more graceful and a little bit more gracious, you can seek it out, and Lucy and I may be able to teach you. What else would you add, Lucy?
And I think it's one of those things that you don't really have to think that you're going to be using it all the time. But now that you have that knowledge, if 5, 10 years you get an invitation to an actual tea, those things you keep in behind your, in the back of your mind, and then you're going to be able to pull up those learnings to use in the future. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a tea party every weekend. It doesn't mean that you're going to be dressing, with your Sunday clothes all the time to go here and there, but you have that knowledge for any future reference.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. I'm going to see if I can find the group pictures, the one that is just the happiest for me, because again, seeing the ladies, our ladies, put time and effort into showing up as the best version of themselves, listening. Let me see. I'm very proud. Here's one. Let's see if I can show you all. This is oh, it opened up another tab. All right. So again, we gave the ladies the dress code for afternoon tea, Sunday best. And I just love this. Look at all of our students, and again, kind of bragging, but not bragging. But ladies, we can do better. You can look elegant and you can look feminine, and it doesn't have to be skin tight. It doesn't have to be, a lot of flesh exposed, which is some feedback that we've gotten. But this is our time to help the ladies plan for things. Lucy and I prepare for this months in advance. And I'm very proud to say this year, some of the students would send me, okay, Miss Maggie, is this outfit appropriate? This is what I'm thinking of getting. Or when I sent out my agenda, this is what I'm wearing. This is what I'm wearing for casual. This is what I'm wearing for formal. This is what I'm wearing for Sunday best. So you all have an example so you can get some inspiration. Some of you all can dress, top to bottom, no help needed. Some of us need help. And someone told me privately, thank you for sending the pictures because I had no idea where to start. So I was really happy. This is us outside of the McAvoy room, but I just love, again, yes, this is a staged picture, but I just love looking at how happy everyone is and how much we look like ladies. What would you say, Lucy?
Yes, and that's another opportunity for the ladies to be around kind of like an environment that fosters that softness that we all have. that if you didn't learn the first time, you can come in the second time and you say, oh, they wore this. Then I'm not wearing what I wore the last time because I didn't look that I belonged there. And again, that goes back to learning how to dress for the event. And again, people will treat you as they see you. Even when you're traveling and you're wearing something that is just sets you apart from the rest, you will get different treatment. And it's not because you want the different treatment, it's because people do judge. You know, for those of you that say, no, we shouldn't judge, unfortunately, the world works differently and you are judged by the first 3 seconds that people see you. You're going to be judged by something that is a friend or could potentially be a foe. So again, we are learning from each other on what is appropriate to wear and what is not appropriate for events.
I couldn't agree more. I'll go back through and show you all some more pictures. I love to open up my family to the ladies so they can see kind of who and what makes Maggie. So on Friday night, you all got to meet Mr. President, and on Sunday, Nana, my mom. Some of you all have seen her cook with me. Nana is our special guest. I'm just going to go through some of these pictures as I'm talking so you all can see, and then I'll come to the comments. But it's really important. You know, I'm so grateful, and I didn't realize it, you know, then the way that I was raised, just having that example. But ladies, if you didn't have that, it means that you are behind. And that's okay. But having that awareness that, wow, okay, I'm a little bit out of place here. If you put your efforts behind getting better, you can get better. It is a skill. You don't have to just say, well, you know, not everybody, you know, had an intact family. We're not going to make those excuses. This is one of my favorite pictures as well. Caitlin took the ladies as we were seated around my mom. My mom did her own little mini TED talk and gave us a lesson on African culture and what my mom's tribe and my dad's tribe has to say about marriage being the long journey and learning together. And, you know, again, it always brings me to tears, but, you know, I love having those matriarchs amongst us. You know, I believe, you know, Lucy and I are matriarchs in training, but it's so important. If you have that example and that wisdom, don't hesitate to ask, because it really is a blessing to have that. And, you know, I'm just so proud. I know my mom is proud of me and the work that we've done, but I'm just looking at the ladies and again, the smiles and just so happy. What would you add, Lucy?
Oh my goodness, your mom, Nana, is just the wisdom that she provides, even when she walks in, you know that she has um, that I don't know, it's kind of like an aura of her being the matriarch of a family, the matriarch of a group, and even talking to her soft voice, how she explains things very softly, but at the same time very direct. It's just it's a treasure. And unfortunately, in this modern world, we have learned to not take that wisdom as part of our learning, and we tend to dismiss what the elders can provide to us. And we need to learn how to appreciate that wisdom, because it's worth, my goodness, it's worth, there's no price for that good wisdom that they share. And again, it's not that they just want to share just to talk, they do it for a reason. And having Nana around is just a treasure, an amazing woman.
Thank you so much for saying that, Lucy. I'm going to go through these because I know we were short on time because of me, but I saw your comment, Jurgen. I'm going to come to the comments in a moment. But yes, the elders, you know, in my opinion, if they've lived a respectful life, you know, are worthy of that respect. And so I'm so grateful for the example I have. One of the gifts that I also give to the ladies is pearl bracelets. and I gave them to our graduates last year, and I gave them to freshwater pearls to our students this year, along with other gifts, but just as a reminder of who they are and what they studied, and to remember to slow down and be elegant, to stand out for the right reasons, to know that they do belong. I know a lot of times people have, what do they call, like imposter syndrome. I remember last year one of our students was like, I drive by this place all the time, but I never felt like, I could come in. But now being here, I feel like I do belong. And it brings me to tears, because I know a lot of times we count ourselves out, but I'm here always championing, saying, no, we can do better. We will do better. We must do better. So this is just the ladies opening their gifts and getting their freshwater pearl bracelets out and putting them on each other. And I just love watching the ladies help each other get ready. It just takes me back to a time when, we cared for one another. That's a very feminine skill, to be helpful. If you want to be in a relationship, to be a helpmate. And it's not only to your man. You all hear me howling at the moon. And I tell the ladies too in our classes, are you useful at all? Or do you just show up in a place and it's like, it's about me? Do you look for the little ones amongst us, the older ones amongst us? Anytime Nana is in the place, Lucy is like at her hip. If Nana has to go to the ladies' room or anything, do you show care for others? Because I'm telling you, men notice that. How do you treat the wait staff? Are you patient? Are you kind? These are the things that we look for. I'm just going to go through these quickly as I'm walking the room and, giving away things and toasting. These are the things that we look for. Another candid smile, 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 smile. I absolutely love this. And for me, the pictures are a gift to the ladies, but it's also something that, there's Maggie, I love looking back at and just seeing how reliving the moment almost, and showing the ladies how to properly hold a wine glass and why we hold it a certain way, how to sit like a lady. Little things that, again, mothers used to teach daughters and pass on, but for whatever reason, a lot of young ladies are raising themselves and they don't know these things. They just plop down in a chair and legs spread open like a dude. That's not elegant, and we can do better. And so these are some of the things that we teach them, again, privately in the finishing school online, and then give them the opportunity to learn in person. So I absolutely love it, and I would do it over and over again. We're going to start planning again for the next event that we want to have, and the finishing school will start advertising that again after we teach our July relationship basics. But yes, some of you all had requested a look into the graduation school weekend. So hopefully this was a little insight that you all can see. And we had an amazing time. And I'm so proud of what we've done. And again, thank you, Lucy, for coming all the way over and putting up with all of all of the moving pieces and parts. It takes a lot of work to make this come together, but I know the ladies enjoyed it, and we sent them home to take what they've learned and apply it into their actual lives. What would you add, Lucy?
This is, one of those yearly experiences that not too many people get to have around. And I appreciate you, Maggie, for all you do, because it's amazing what you put together. And it's one of those things that if you're not exposed to it, you don't know what you can do as a group of women. I remember I'm always thinking, we women, when our men used to go out and fight battles, back then, the women would get together and keep the environment alive for when they came back. And I think that, again, modern, the ease of the modern world has gotten us to forget how it was before and what is our purpose as a woman, as women in society to be. So I think that for some of us, it's important to maybe stand out from the other ones and create that society of women that will help each other and will maintain our society intact while our men are doing their thing out there, so we can come back home, so they can come back home to their children, and the women keeping that environment as healthy and as safe as possible while they're out there. Thank you, Discipled One. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't agree more. I'm going to come to the comments as we close out, but I have to shout out Discipled One with the $50 super chat again. We love teaching the women. We couldn't do it without the men. Lucy and I are so incredibly grateful. Consistently, you all support us. You create a safe space for us to continue to do what we do. You are here echoing that what we do actually matters because, like Lucy said, people say, oh, it's just a drop in the bucket. Oh, that's antiquated. It's old fashioned. Nobody does that anymore. And we don't discount the modern conveniences. We all love them. But at our core, we are women. And I hope that we are becoming more like ladies. And so this is, a passion project for me, our hobby. And I'm so glad that it is well received. Discipled One says, wait a minute, Maggie, these women were getting your input on their outfit before the event. You and Lucy are a masterclass of femininity walking. Yes, thank you. And to me, it shows that they're listening because that is what we teach. I'll give you all this one again free. If you're invited somewhere and you don't know, it is proper etiquette to ask the host before you attend. If the dress code is not explicit, this is what I'm thinking about wearing. Ask before you just bring kids or a +1 or +3. Ask before you just take food home. We had plenty. I told the ladies, you're absolutely okay, but again, elegance is about consideration of others. And this modern world has made us so selfish. Well, I like it. Well, I like this dress, or I'm okay. It doesn't matter. It does matter. And yes, taking the time to ask, it really stands out. Thank you, Irving, for the €5. He says that nurturing quality. Yes, I'm loving what Lucy and Maggie are passing on to the younger women. This message is necessary. Thank you so much. Let me just run through the comments really quickly, and then Lucy, we will wrap up. Oh my goodness. I'm just going to scroll back. And Jurgen said it was nice that all of the women wore dresses instead of pants. And yes, I have heard women say, Maggie, before you, I didn't have any dresses in my closet. I'm not saying you got to wear them all the time, but ladies, you do want to have something ready so that when you do need to be a little bit more feminine, you feel comfortable moving as a lady and not like a dude. All right. Yes, Nana was with us. We love my mom. Irving says the colors are great. I thought the group picture was incredible. The way that we all looked like straight out of an Easter basket. To me, it was just incredible. So thank you, ladies. And thank you, those that are watching or will watch the replay, for following the dress code and for showing up and making our event so beautiful. And hopefully you felt beautiful in your Sunday best. And I just love how everybody got all dressed up. Okay, let me go back to the comments really quick. All right, thank you, Discipled One. Yes, thank you so much. Let's see what else. Yes, I would wear that. Okay. Linda says it was a pleasure seeing Nana again. Absolutely. Quasia says posture, manners, fashion, and uniqueness. It is important. Linda says she's the epitome of wisdom and experience. Yeah, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful and lucky. I didn't do anything to deserve it, but because I didn't do anything to deserve it, I feel a responsibility to help others and to pass it on. All right. We got Ainoa in the house, one of my students from Spain. I know she's asked about the finishing school. We'll do it again. She says, good evening, everyone. My little Catalonian is watching. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Jurgen, for being here. All right. I think we got through everything. Well, thank you all. I know some of you all were interested, maybe Killis and Condemned will watch the replay, but that was our finishing school for the Modern Woman graduation weekend for 2025. We went over the yacht party and then the afternoon tea. And so again, thank you all for supporting, for encouraging. Thank you, Lucy, for putting up with all of my crazy ideas and helping bring structure to the space. Thank you to the ladies who traveled, who came, who invested in themselves and made this a priority amongst other things. And most importantly, thank you to the men who publicly and privately support us and encourage us to keep going. We are incredibly grateful. What would you say to close us out, Lucy?
Yes, thank you for all that participated. And again, our men, even my own husband, giving me the time, taking taking me away, allowing me to go away from the family, from the house. I mean, I appreciate that because not too many men are willing to give their precious wife, because I'm his precious thing for him, to go away without him. And again, that is something, again, it's part of that support that our men provide to us to make our world better.
So yes, thank you, Mr. Lucy, for supporting and allowing Lucy to come all the way to the East Coast. I try to take very good care of her when she's with me.
He
Uh,
knows you do.
okay, good. And hopefully, he'll see some of these pictures or has already seen some of the pictures. So we will be back next week. Lucy and I are going to be back to our regularly scheduled programming. I've got some more travel, so we're going to skip next week and we will be back on the 25th. Lucy's got some videos queued up that we are going to be reacting to. We like to come on from time to time and give you all our take as the older women teaching the young. Everything that you see here, if you're interested, you can go to teachablemomentswithmaggie.com. If you're interested in joining the next finishing school session, it is available right now on demand. You can go ahead and enroll and start doing the self-study. When we lock down the dates for when we're going to teach it live, if you have already purchased the course, then we will invite you at no extra charge for the live lesson so you can have your questions answered and everything that you may want to know. So that is the finishing school for the modern woman. But our next live course is going to be the relationship basics. That's going to start next month, July 19th. Ladies, if you don't know what it means to be a support system, to study your man, to anticipate his needs, how to be a helpmate, if you really don't know how this relationship thing works and you do want to prioritize it, the Relationship Basics is our entry-level course and where I would suggest you all start. So we'll be teaching that live starting July 19th. And just keep your notifications on. We'll be posting and you all will see more to come. But with that, I'm going to release Lucy because I know I've kept her here past her time. Yes, thank you, Mike Worthy. Congratulations to all of the lovely ladies. And yes, it was a beautiful weekend. All right, everybody, we will see you all in a couple of weeks. And with that, we will say
Adios.
adios.
Bye, Maggie.
Bye.